Hello and welcome to episode number 3 of my 31-day series answering your questions about creating a career or a business that you love. And yesterday's episode was super long, so this episode I've picked a bit of a shorter question, and the question is, how much should I charge? Very good question. We're going to dive into that. If you've got your own questions, reach out to me on social media, Alex Makes VR across all of the socials, or you can send me a slightly longer question to alexmakesvr@gmail.com. And if you want to be notified when these podcast episodes go live and also just get a short kind of rundown of what I discuss in the episode, you can sign up to the newsletter at alexmakesvr.com. Okay, so the question that I'm sure everyone has to ask themselves constantly, how much should I be charging? I mean, the simplest answer, this could literally be a 2-minute podcast. The shortest answer is just pick a rate and stick to it. The easiest thing to do, just work out what your expenses are every month. Work out how many days you want to work in that month, and then there's your answer, right? That's really what this is. That's exactly it. And if you go back to episode number 1 where I talk about that dreamlining exercise, you already know what your kind of dream number is. So the way that I work out how much to charge, the simplest way that I do it is I look at what my actual outgoings are. So what am I currently spending every month? How much do I need in my bank account to make sure that I have a roof over my head and I can afford to eat, and also occasionally buy my friends and family's dinner for them? And that's one figure. And then I say, okay, well, I don't really want to work more than 3 days a week this month. So I need to divide that figure by roughly 12. And then that gives me my day rate. Now, of course, you're not going to just be able to kind of go, okay, cool. Well, I want £1 million, so, and I only want to work 1 day a week. So I'm going to just divide that by 12. Okay, so I need to charge, £780,000 a day or whatever it might be. Of course, you could take it to an extreme. But the simplest answer is basically that. And that might not be a very satisfying answer. And will someone pay you that rate? If you decide that you are a total newbie and you decide that your day rate is 300 quid a day, is someone going to pay you that? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they will. I mean, you'd have to have a lot of social proof. You'd have to have a lot of good stuff in your portfolio. You'd have to have a lot of proof that you can do what you're saying you can do, but they probably would pay it. The answer to a lot of this question is just having the confidence to charge it. So it's fascinating to me because there is obviously a going rate in the industry, right? I mean, the going rate for a Unity developer versus the going rate for a 360 photographer versus the going rate for a producer director. They're all very different, and also they're very different depending on what niche you're working in. So the rate that people get paid to work on original projects or art, kind of more arty and I guess entertainment style content, is way lower than what you could charge for a corporate project or a commercial project. So it really, really depends. So if you want to figure out if you're going to be kind of working with creative kind of agencies or production houses, if you want to work in a freelance capacity that way, then you just reach out to them and ask them what the go, hi, I'm an editor, I'm a 360 editor or sound mixer, and I'm looking to get new clients. I was just wondering if you could tell me what kind of rates you pay your editors / audio mixers / whatever Unity developers, and they'll probably come back to you and they'll probably tell you a reasonable price. They'll probably lower it a little bit, but that's one way to get an answer. You could also reach out to people who are doing that job and ask them what they charge. I feel like it's really funny because people get a bit kind of weird about talking about money. I think it's literally, it makes the world go round. Like literally you can't live without it. So why do we have this weird taboo around talking about it? I have no idea. So that is kind of like a place to start. But yeah, when it comes to kind of thinking about your dream line and your goals, the amount that I charge today, I kind of like, for my dream life, let's say, I would probably be charging a little bit higher so that I could work a little bit less. And my rate changes, again, like depending on who I'm working with, what the project is, how long it's going to go on for, what the stress level is, what's the level of responsibility that I have, what is the risk factor if the project goes wrong, do I need a contingency in there, all of those kind of things. So to start off with, though, I just wouldn't complicate it. I think if you're in England and you are a new person to any industry, well, the number one thing I would do is probably work on some projects for free to get the experience, because that is by far the quickest and easiest way in. I know some people don't like that answer, but I just think that's the harsh truth of a lot of creative industries. Is it's a people's game. It's you need a network, you need experience and a network, and you can't get either of those things if you think that you should be paid, £100 a day with having no experience at all. Not to say that shouldn't be the case, but I'm just saying that's not how the industry is right now. But yeah, once you've got that experience, then, charge £150 a day and see if you can get work. And if you can't get work, if people are saying no, then lower your rate. You either need to lower your rate or go after bigger clients so that they can afford you. And that's really the crux of the matter. This question comes from a very, 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 very close friend of mine, and she doesn't actually work in the VR industry specifically, but we do a lot of work together. She is predominantly a copywriter and a content creator in general, but predominantly copywriting. And she said to me recently, like, "Oh, I've seen that so-and-so is charging 3 times my day rate for copywriting. Like, I should be charging more." And I said, "Yeah, you should be charging more, 100%. She's like, "Well, how can I charge more?" I was like, "Just charge more." And if your clients don't want to pay more, then they're the wrong clients, or if they're the right clients and you love working with them, but they don't have the money to pay you more, then you can't charge them more. That's pretty much as simple as it is, right? So yeah, don't overthink it. Pick a rate. You'll go through many a stage of thinking, "Oh, I wish I'd charged more for that," or I've really overcharged for that, but I'm going to deliver so much value that it's going to be worth it. But yeah, I'd say if you're just starting out, maybe in the region of £100 to £200 a day. As you get more established, as you work with bigger clients, then you can start to charge more. And again, depending on what the niche. And this comes back as well to the idea of like what we talked about in the last episode, which is about what value are you bringing that client? If your services are going to, say, for example, if I created a 360 video for a tourism company that was going to bring, on average, another 100 to 200 people to the country, and they're going to spend each, we'll say, £1,000, just to keep it simple. So that's, what did I say, 100,000? So that's like between 100 and 200,000 pounds that I've just made that tourism board. So hell's yeah, I'm going to charge them 20 grand. And hell's yeah, that's how I'm going to pitch it. So if you're working with clients directly, yeah, you can be a bit smarter. You can position the way that you're kind of charging differently. You can say that actually I'm a bargain because, my virtual tour of your real estate properties is going to sell your listings 4 times as fast, which means you can have 4 times as many houses and clients on the go your end, which is going to make you over £1 million more this year. Hell's yeah, you're going to pay me 2 grand to do that virtual tour, because what is 2 grand if you're going to make $1 million off the back of it? So that's the way you kind of can think about it in terms of the way you pitch how much you're charging. But yeah, ultimately though, stripping it right back, work out what your outgoings are or what your desired income is. So what is the amount of money that you want to be earning, and how many days a week do you want to be working? So if you were to start off, you probably should be working like 5 days a week and like grinding and hustling and getting loads of work in your portfolio and working with lots of different clients to see who you like working with and how they respond. And you're going to get some clients in the same industry that will very gladly pay your wage, your rate, and there's going to be a similar company down the road that won't. And that's just that's business. There is no science to it. There is no formula. It's just kind of trial and error. So don't overthink it. Work out how much you need to survive, or that you kind of like would like to be making, how many days you want to work. Divide that, do some of that easy maths, and that will give you your day rate. I hope that helps. And if you've got any more further kind of questions on the subject of charging or, working out project costs and that kind of thing, then let me know. I feel like a 10-minute podcast is such a cop-out, but a lot of you are probably thinking, yes, just leave now, Alex. We don't need another 10-minute ramble. This was good enough. So I'm going to end it there. Just a reminder that if you've got a question, please send it to me on any of the social platforms, Alex Makes VR. You can send me a longer question to the email address alexmakesvr@gmail.com. And if you want reminding every day when these podcasts go live, and a bit of a summary about what I talk about in the episode, sign up to the newsletter, www.alexmakesvr.com. I think that's everything. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but that's only because I'm so used to just rambling for about half an hour when no one necessarily even wants that. Okay, I'll speak to you tomorrow.